1948. And that's right. We're up to a few years after the war now. Everything's feeling good. Toronto finishes first this season, 32-15-13. There's a lot of ties. Detroit 30-18-12 is second, followed by Boston 23-24-13. So only two teams finish above 500 that year. The Rangers 21-26-13. The Montreal Canadiens 20-29-11, and they missed the playoffs for the first time since 1940 on a regular season loss to the Boston Bruins. So they were close, and then no. And the Rangers knock them out. Chicago finishes last 20-34-6. So this is the first miss for the Montreal Canadiens since 1940. The last time the Rangers won the Stanley Cup. The Rangers will not win the Stanley Cup, spoiler alert. The All-Star Game begins this season. Officially, the NHL puts on an All-Star Game. It is the defending Stanley Cup champion Toronto Maple Leafs against a team of NHL All-Stars. The NHL All-Stars win the game 4-3. And the benefit of that game, all the funds went to the Players' Pension Fund. Toe Blake's career was ended that year by an ankle injury. So, Toe Blake's career ends as a player, but he'll have a pretty solid career as a coach. Bobby Bauer retires, so that ends the Kraut line for the Boston Bruins, which might be part of the reason why they finished below 500 as these careers come to an end. Gordie Howe of the Detroit Red Wings plays with Ted Lindsay and Sid Abel to form the production line. That will go on to be one of the greatest lines in the history of hockey. Conn Smythe makes a 5-player trade and in exchange gets Max Bentley. Now what's important about this is that the Maple Leafs were the best team in the league already. And after a loss, he goes, you know what, we need something else. And he makes a 5-player deal and gets Max Bentley back from the Hawks as part of that deal. Bentley, kind of an important player. The Rangers, Billy Taylor, Boston's Dan Gallagher, suspended for life due to gambling. That's right. Caught gambling, they're out for life. The Hart Trophy goes to Buddy O'Connor of the New York Rangers. He was acquired from the Montreal Canadiens that season. Buddy O'Connor also wins the Lady Byng, and I'm pretty sure that throughout this history, that's the first time a player's won 2 trophies the same year. Good on you, buddy. Jim McFadden of the Detroit Red Wings wins the Calder. The Art Ross is awarded for the first time, and Elmer Locke of the Montreal Canadiens wins it, despite the toe Blake injury. And the Vezina goes to Turk Broda of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Broda's becoming kind of a cult hero in Toronto, and it's accentuated by what happens in this playoff run. The semifinals, Toronto wins Game 1 5-4 in overtime. They win Game 2 5-3. Games 3 and 4 are in Boston. Toronto wins the third game 5-1. The fourth game of the series goes to Boston, but of course a 3-1 series lead's almost insurmountable, and Toronto proves that that is the case once again by beating the Bruins 3-2. Then the New York Rangers are in the playoffs for the first time in a while, and they get Detroit, which is not fair to Toronto or to the Rangers. They lose the first 2 in Detroit, 2-1 and 5-2. The Rangers win the next 2 at home, 3-2 and 3-1. Detroit then wins Game 5, 3-1 at home, and Detroit wins Game 6 on the road against the Rangers. To knock the Rangers out, Detroit plays Toronto in the finals again. Not the first time, not the second time. Toronto and Detroit are getting to know each other very well in the playoffs, even though the organizations are changing and the faces of the franchise have been changing. Toronto wins this one easy. 5-3, 4-2, 2-0, and then 7-2 in Game 4. That's how you shut out a series. That's how you prevent any kind of a comeback. That 3-0 series comeback by Toronto is now becoming a thing of ancient history and just kind of a talking point and an asterisk in history. And this is the second win in a row for the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. Now, when you have a 6-team league like this, one can point to a dynasty and say, it's not really a dynasty. But if it's not impressive, somebody else will get in there and do it. And they didn't. And so that's Toronto's 7th Stanley Cup overall. It's a good thing I came home today so I could put on a different Toronto jersey because I'm wearing a lot of Toronto throughout this series, which is to be expected until 1967, and Leafs fans are going to say, and until 2019. Wink. Anyways, there you go. Toronto doesn't win any major awards, but they win the one that matters. They win the Stanley Cup. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do not forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Once again, I'm outside. It's kind of weird, I know, but I'm at home now, and it's nice to be here. And I've missed the homestead and the cats. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thank you so much for watching.